And welcome back to the Kenya International Sports Film Festival 2025 8th edition. Come to you live from Alliance Française de Mombasa here in Nyali, Mombasa, Kenya, East Africa. This is the fourth and final day. Actually, towards the end of the day, we are actually going to have the award ceremony coming to you here live. And today, we're now starting with our topic, which is to thrive with age. And on the panel, I have Shabnam Dewji from the UK. He's a dedicated member of the Thrive with Age program, which has completely transformed her lifestyle over the past year. Through consistency, mindset shifts, and a commitment to her health, she reclaimed her energy and confidence while building long-term habits that keep her thriving. We also have Fatima Khanji from the UK as well, and she has been part of the Thrive program, achieving remarkable weight loss and overcome significant health challenges through sheer determination and consistency. She has built an unbreakable mindset, making strength training and walking a natural part of her daily life. And we also have Ashiqali Damani, who is from the UK, and is a health and physique transformational coach specializing in sustainable weight loss, strength training, and well-being. He leads the Thrive coaching program, helping individuals improve their body composition, energy, and confidence through real food, mindful habits, and structured lifestyle. And last but not least, we have the moderator, Zahir Sumar, also from the UK, and he is a freelance business consultant, coach, and published author based in the UK, originally from Sweden, with an engineering background. He is passionate about helping clients unlock their potential and achieve their goals. Having experienced his own transformative journey with Thrive, he now has the privilege of being part of the Thrive team, where he coaches and supports clients with personal insight and renewed purpose. Welcome to the panel session on Thrive with Age. Zahir, over to you.
Thank you so much, Chris. Really wonderful introduction to all of us. So we are Thrive with Age, and we have the pleasure of having been invited to speak to you all, but also speak to each other as we discover each other's stories and testimonials as we go along. So welcome to our panel discussion, where we'll be discussing not just weight loss and feeling healthier, but also feeling more energetic and how to excel in your sporting performance, all through nutrition, lifestyle, and training. So as Chris mentioned, I'm your moderator, Zahir, and today I'll be interviewing the founder of an organization called Thrive with Age, Ashiqali Damani, and also we are joined by two of the clients, Shabnam and Fatima as well, who will be sharing their experiences too. So without further ado, Ashiqali, I'm going to put you in the spot first. You are a health and physique transformation coach, but you didn't always used to be, right? So we're going to uncover that in a second. And the organization that you've set up seems to be churning out real transformations with real coaches and real results. This is all fantastic, but a question that I still love to hear the answer to, and I'm sure everybody has: how did this all begin? How did Thrive with Age come about?
Sure. Thank you for the welcome, everyone. So my journey into health and physique transformation actually began in a very different world. So I was in the IT industry for 21 years, actually. And I'm sure you can imagine it took its toll. So long hours, high stress, very sedentary lifestyle. So over time, I became overweight myself, was feeling frequently unwell, suffered with severe migraines. And the topic is sports as well, and lots of listeners will be in that space. So I used to be an athlete myself. I was an ex cross country runner, ex 1500-meter runner, but I'd lost all of that, and the running performance had declined. I thought I could outrun a bad diet, but the truth is you just can't. So on a very fateful day when I was doing a 5 kilometer race near where I live, I completely collapsed from exhaustion, and that really was the turning point. I knew at that moment that something had to change. So I went back to studying, and not just fitness, but the science really behind nutrition and well-being. I did a diploma in nutrition and well-being, and spent years then learning from pathologists and surgeons and expert doctors in the field and the subjects of things like insulin resistance, and understanding how our liver works and energy balances, and actually how our body burns fat. So with all of this that I applied, I started to transform my own health, and thankfully I dropped my body fat percentage down to 10%. I wouldn't advise going beyond that, it's pretty grim, but rebuilt my strength and completely reset my relationship with food. And so from there I started helping others, family and friends, and eventually building a system that transforms lives every day now, which is fabulous. So really, all of this started from pain, to be honest, and we turned it into purpose. And this is what drives us every single day, myself and the team. But here's the odd part. The objective was simple, right? The objective was to help people to lose weight. What we actually found was something really, really beautiful. So aside from having people revamp their complete wardrobe and shed the weight and feel really good, people started to heal themselves. So we've had everything from ladies' eyebrow hair growing back to type 2 diabetes going into full remission, PCOS being fixed, ladies being able to conceive, elders doing pull-ups and chin-ups and push-ups that we never thought were possible, inflammation, things like psoriasis, brain fog, chronic pain, even in athletes, HbA1c plummeting. So all of these issues were reversing. And where it comes from fundamentally is that we all found out that there is magic and healing within proper nutrition and lifestyle. And so I often say this, and people know this is a famous saying of mine now: treat your food as medicine before medicine becomes your food. So really, we're not just talking about returning to high performance, and what we're actually talking about is potentially ditching medicine where it's not required, fulfilling your lifestyle. So we're not just we're not just like dying slower, but we're living longer and ultimately trying to help everyone to live a much better and greater lifespan. And this is what we do every day.
Great, thank you so much, Ashik. And I think that that's it's so powerful the way that you put it, is the fact that we want to live longer rather than die slower. Absolutely. But I'm sure the listeners, after hearing that, are dying to know how does it work? Can you give us like an overview of how this program actually works for people day to day?
Yeah, sure. So you might be surprised to know that it's not a traditional diet or a short-term fitness plan or anything like that. We definitely take a holistic approach. So we don't look at just what you're eating on a day-to-day basis. We look at how you're living. So we track everything from sleep to stress to, of course, your nutrition, body composition, your daily activity. But it's not just the sake of collecting data. It's actually about human to human connection. So every client has their own one-to-one coach. And of course, we keep them highly accountable. But there is a strong human element to this. Remember, as I was saying before, it's about fixing your relationship with food. It's about understanding where the root of stress is coming from. And once you start to build these small, consistent daily actions, you start to build that momentum, right? And ultimately, this is how transformation happens through habit, because the truth of it actually is that first you create a habit and then a habit creates you. And that's exactly what we're seeing every day with our clients, that actually through looking at all of these factors, no matter if you're trying to combat obesity or you're trying to improve your sporting performance, fundamentally it's the same. By actually attributing all of these factors and seeing those improvements through guidance, through the expertise that we give, they will start to see that the body then gives back signals of positivity to start feeling better again. The energy returns, the sporting performance improves, and you just have that much better reaction with food. Everything from digestion to the power output in your training. And so really all of this together with habits and discipline that we instill, it's also about us trying to be comfortable with being uncomfortable, to embrace that discomfort, because we know that that's where growth lies ultimately. And so now with all of these habits and discipline in place and giving people the education around food and lifestyle, actually not just getting to the physique that they have the objective of, but actually living out their dreams that they never even thought of. And hopefully we get to continue this.
Absolutely, yeah, yeah. And I can attest to that in my own transformation journey. But we actually have two panelists here who have a far better story than I could ever imagine to have. And I'm going to pass on a couple of questions to you both. So, Shabnam, welcome. I'm going to start with you if you don't mind. And to maybe make it feel a bit more real to the people listening to this session about what it was like in your journey before, during, and sort of towards the latter end. So, before joining Thrive, Shabnam, where were you physically, mentally, and emotionally?
Thank you again. Before I joined Ashiqali, I was really struggling with the weight loss. It has always been my dream to get fitter and to lose the weight. I've tried different things, but nothing seemed to be working. So last August, a friend of mine who knew my struggles recommended Ashiqali to us. And I said, let me try it out. And oh boy, I am not going to look back again. The It's a dream come true. Honestly, the way he has presented nutrition and the to see what it does to your body, I have more energy. I'm more disciplined, and I feel like I need to work out more. I don't have this issue of not working out. It's this energy that is given through food and everything, and that's what the results are there, and it's fantastic. That's all I can say.
Brilliant, brilliant. Love to hear it. And you mentioned two things. One was that somebody introduced you to Ashik's program, Thrive. But what was it inside of you after having tried lots of other things that made you take that final step to say, you know what, I'm going to give it another go and I'm going to try this program?
Because this friend of mine had been on his program and he was going through his success story. He told us his success story. And he said, especially with the nutrition, because there was no calorie counting, there was no nothing. It's your everyday nutrition that you just have to tweak it with the understanding of what you're putting in your mouth. And once you understand the way Ashiqali and his team explains to you, then you get the fact that this is how you're supposed to use it in your everyday lifestyle. And it is not difficult. I tell you, it is very, very easy.
Great, good to hear. So, I mean, it was the selling point was really the fact that this actually did offer something different, because what we found, and Ashik, you will obviously have found as you're building the program, that a lot of these things are reskinned in different ways, but they're still trying to get you to count calories. They're still trying to get you to the things that are tried and tested but don't have sustainable results. But from what we're hearing from you, Shabnam, that this actually was different. This has had a lasting impact, which is fantastic. Now, I'm going to share one of your details with the room, so please forgive me. But your journey, you have lost now, I believe, over 40 kilos, right? And what I've seen and what I've heard is that you've gained so much confidence, and you've talked about it in terms of working out, how you eat, etc. What would you say is the biggest change for yourself in your day-to-day life?
The biggest change is the mental health. Because I'm more confident on what I see for myself, it's, my dreams are coming true. And that's given me more confidence. When I first joined Ashiqali and he said that I had to send a picture, that was my toughest bit. I was almost in tears when I had to do that. And then I thought, you know what, I have full faith and I have trust. And I said, okay, and I do not regret it anymore. I have this confidence now. I don't mind being in front of a camera. It's that confidence that it builds, and the team, the support that Ashiqali gives and his team that gives you when you're in this program is phenomenal. There's not a single thing that if you had any kind of question, they will get straight back to you and they will support you 100% through your journey.
Incredible, incredible. And you can tell by the smiles on our faces how we can feel your enthusiasm through your story. Thank you so much for sharing. Now, I'm going to switch over to Fatima, if you don't mind. So welcome to the panel as well. You too have completely transformed, and congratulations on achieving that too. Now, so for you, Fatima, when you look back to when you started, what's the first thing that comes to mind to describe how far you've come?
Yeah, that's a good one. Physically, I'm lighter now than I was before I got married when I was a teenager. So I don't look lighter because obviously there's muscle and what have you, but actually to see the scales where they are, it's amazing. One of the things that Ashik did was like Shabnam Bhai said, the photos. And we have an app where we register our photos every week.
Recording stopped.
And when my photos, I go back and look at my photos, that makes me want to go more further, because it's on another level to actually to walk into a shop and not have to walk into the oversized shops like yours. You can go into simple shops like Asda and pick up a pair of trousers that are like normal. And what's really horrible though is when I was larger, a size 24, 26, couldn't find clothes my size. Now I'm a smaller size, 16, 18. Can't find clothes my size because obviously it's a popular size. But the amount of stuff that is on sale at the larger sizes and stuff that I would have loved to have picked up, not there for me anymore. It's really that's frustrating. But yeah, actually being able to look at myself and think, yeah, this is good. You know, I take random pictures. Oh my God, look at this. I bought a pair of chinos and I was like, I've never worn chinos before. I've never worn jeans before, you know. Not that I'm not keen on jeans, but I was like, God, I can do this. Sure. It just, you know, that's physically that's been one of the main things, absolutely. But on another level, there's been different changes. So.
And you know what? Speaking of changes, right? One of the things that we had Shabnam talking about,
Recording in progress.
the mindset and the psychological change that happened to her. So we talk a lot about at Thrive that this is more than just a diet, as Ashiq just mentioned as well. So what's one mindset or habit that's really stayed with you as you've gone through your transformation? Would you say?
But I've got two, if I'm honest. As one, the nutritional course that Ashiq puts up in the beginning of the program, that was key because that changed a lot of things, like the seed oils. Yeah, we're all told sunflower oil is good for you, and margarine, like cholesterol, whatever those cholesterol lowering things are. Well, I don't have any of that stuff anymore. You know, it's all avocado oil, coconut oil. It's all the good things because we never invested money in the good food. We invest money in the rubbish. So that's one thing. And the other, through his horrible challenges, the mindset of movement. Movement is very much key. It's together. I've lost lots of weight in the past. I've lost probably about as much weight as I've lost with Ashiq, but it's crept back on because it's been through food, and then it comes back and it's much worse. But a mindset is motion, and something I picked up in a yoga class on YouTube video once was what was it? I use this a lot. Motion is lotion.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I suffer with severe arthritis and that. I still struggle with it, but the symptoms are much better, much less. So my mottos are to eat properly. Yes, I have great days and I have really bad days, but you know, that's part of life. But motion is lotion, and I have to do some sort of activity every day, even if it's just a 15-minute 500-meter walk.
Mm-hmm.
It's an activity that's logged. It has to be logged, and that's one thing. I was somebody who was always slow in sports and what have you, and damn, I'm not losing a challenge. I haven't lost a challenge yet. The only one where I've lost is where the team have been part of it, and I've had to be really enthusiastic where we've lost it. But that's okay because everybody has to turn up for themselves, and the bonus is turning up for the team. But so definitely movement, whatever sort of movement.
You described it as horrible challenges, and I get it, and it's exactly what Ashiq said in terms of getting comfortable with the uncomfortable. And I think that's what you've epitomized. That even on the days where you don't want to do it, that discipline that you've now got instilled makes you do it, which is fantastic.
Oh, absolutely. Whether it's 10 minutes early morning or it's 11:45, there has to be something. Look, very rarely. I mean, I like it when my Strava app tells me 800th activity. I haven't even been on the program 2 years. You know, so 800 tells me quite a lot.
Yes, absolutely. And now, if you cast your mind back to where you were 6 months ago before you joined, right, and you pictured that you're having a conversation with that, Fatima then, or let's say somebody else who's at that stage in their lives right now, what's one thing that you would tell them to help them?
Definitely wouldn't be hindsight's a great thing. It would be invest in your health, invest in your health, invest in your health. Health is wealth. Tomorrow we won't be here, we'll leave all things behind. But getting to that point in life where you're no longer, and getting there on your own, on the number 11 bus is what my next door neighbor says, which is on your own two legs, is absolutely key, because at the end of the day, you have to live with you. You have to get down the stairs. You have to make your own tea, coffee, whatever, because everybody will grow up and go. It's just you, yourself, and it's me, myself, and I. And me, myself, and I are the most important thing, because if I'm not okay, nothing else is okay. And somebody once said to me is, a woman especially, but I think it goes for everybody, you are the hinges of the door. And if the door hinges start creaking and you don't WD-40 them, eventually they're going to fall off. So motion is lotion, it's your WD-40, nutrition is key, the mindset. And sometimes you don't want to do things, and that's okay. But 9 times out of 10, you've got to keep on. It's the consistency. And I drop back in my nutrition often, but I don't drop back in movement. So me, myself, and I, invest in yourself. Invest, invest, invest.
Great, thank you so much. And I think from both of your stories right now, we're hearing so many impacts, not just the things that the scales are showing us, because weight loss is definitely a big thing. Fat loss is definitely a big thing, but we're hearing about confidence, mental health, even curbing your shopping sprees, for example, Fatima, and whatever else, but investing in your food, in your nutrition, in yourself, right? To really live the best life that you can, right? Live longer rather than die, live longer rather than die slowly. Now, Ashiq, we are obviously here in a setting where it's a sports festival, and I kind of wanted to pick your brain a little bit about how we can apply, or you can apply what you've been able to build in this Thrive program to some of the more athletically minded people. Let's put it that way. We often see elite athletes like Kipchoge, Cristiano Ronaldo praised for their discipline and consistency, much of what we've heard from with Fatima and Shabnam. But when you look deeper, and all the research that you did and the experts that you spoke to, what are the key habits and lifestyle choices that actually set these elite athletes apart from the average person?
Very good question, and I think I'm gonna segue on from what Fatima and Shabnam said actually around motivation and discipline first and foremost, because you go onto social media and what do you see? Oh, it's all about discipline. Motivation will peter off after a while. You shouldn't rely on that. I have a slightly different take on this. Okay, and we know that the likes of Kipchoge and Ronaldo that you mentioned, so many other athletes, right, that have instilled that discipline. But a big part of it is the mindset of enjoying that activity as well. Because once you get into that pattern and you feel like you genuinely enjoy it, no longer do you have to feel that it's something that you have to be disciplined at or reliant on a third party to give you that motivation to do it. You see? And so sometimes it's about understanding what that carrot is dangling in front of you, what that carrot actually is. If you ask Kipchoge, it's probably his personal best on his next marathon, or Ronaldo trying to break another goal-scoring record, whatever it may be. You'll hear from our clients just now, and with others that are on our program, that actually it's locking on to what they really enjoy. And yes, nutrition is a big part of it. I often say that 85% of your battle to get healthy and to get into the physique that you want is nutrition, and the rest is movement, but it's got to be movement with enjoyment. That is fundamental. Having said that, there are a few other points I can mention, and this is after a lot of research and working with a lot of athletes as well that I have concluded these points. So if you will allow me, I'll just run through these. Absolutely. And hopefully all the listeners it will benefit them. The first is to understand that actually there's a lot more going on in our gut. Okay, so gut-brain performance connection is a real thing. We have over 100 trillion different organisms growing and moving around and trying to thrive in our guts, and they require feeding. And so I'm going to say this, that a strong gut equals a strong game. Because physically and mentally, you're going to feel the difference if your digestion is good and if your nutrition is on point. So looking after the gut, and I can go into details about pre and probiotics and the importance of fiber, but these are often overlooked by athletes. So I would definitely suggest to look into this more and making sure that really you understand that it has this symbiotic relationship with our brain. Okay. The second is sleep. And ultimately, it's a recovery tool as well. All right. So not just preparing for that sporting activity or that big event the next day, but actually knowing that getting the right number of hours of sleep is important, and even the quality of that sleep as well. And so whichever sports star that you speak to, that you will see that they guard it like their life depends on it. And we need to be doing that a lot more. The next one I would say is, if we are going to talk about the macronutrients of your nutrition, that protein and muscle adaptation is crucially important. So we all need to actually calculate how much protein we should be having, maybe not always reaching those targets, but we know that training will break you down or build you up according to your protein intake, okay, as well as the additional strength training that you're doing. So with that, it's important to know what type of amino acid profiles we've got to be having, and the variances of protein, when to have them as well, and making sure that's strategized in and around our training. The next one is around training itself. And of course, everyone has their own philosophy, whether you're going to do hypertrophy training or strength training. What I'd like to say here is it's got to be specific to what you're trying to achieve. So runners versus cricketers versus tennis stars versus swimmers. You're all going to have to lock on to the different type of nuanced training that you need to be doing. For example, I would not get a runner to do loads and loads of hypertrophy training. They need to be doing things like explosive plyometrics or isometric training to really enhance the strength of particular joints and those deep muscle fibers as well. If you're going to be doing weightlifting, for example, then of course the focus is going to be on strength and so on and so forth. So we've got to train the muscles that the sport demands, not just what we see in the mirror. The final one I'll say, because I know we're running short on time, is hydration and electrolyte balance is so important. Okay, so it's not always about just sipping as much water as possible. It's really looking after those right balance of electrolytes like sodium, potassium, magnesium, and so on. Because hydration is not about how much you drink. It's actually about how well your body absorbs it as well. So with all of this and the mindset and nutrition that we mentioned, and with all the stories that we've heard as well, discipline isn't about restriction. It's the freedom from inconsistency. And with that, I hope everyone listening has found this informative, and hopefully you can apply this to your lives and make your dreams come true as well.
Sure. Thank you so much, Ashiqali. One of the things I kind of want to link back to with where you started off when we began this panel is the fact that this is the approach that Thrive takes, right? It's a very holistic approach. So all these things that you've mentioned is the fact that people who come to the Thrive program are people like yourselves who were athletes who've maybe kind of, dropped off of that, pathway, as opposed to those who are kind of wanting to get into that pathway. And then you have the average Joe who's also wanting to try and better their life, right? And, could you just touch on a little bit about how we cater for all of that and all those different profiles?
Yeah, I'm going to go to the extreme actually. Okay, so we often have elderly folk making contact with us saying, well, actually, how can we make a difference? I've had a total knee replacement, my shoulder is frozen, what options do I have? There is always options. And we do this a lot actually. We go to different communities to show them that even if you feel to the point where you're almost disabled, there are things that you can start from step one. And a great example of this is using small resistance bands. I don't actually have any near me. I could have showed you, but these are highly available from lots of shops. They feel like rubber plastic, but they expand and they come in different types of resistance. That's where you can start. You can start with simple shoulder movements, bicep, tricep movements, even by sitting on a chair. Even whilst you guys are listening at the moment, you might be thinking, well, I'm stuck listening to a podcast or I'm on this panel, I can't do anything. No, just by sitting on your chair, you can do calf raises. And they often say your calves, if you get them exercising, it's like your second heartbeat. So this is a very fundamental level. And then we can build it up all the way to training 3-4 times a week and what that training split should look like, how that nutrition fits into that. And then all the way up to how many I'm sure lots of athletes are listening as well, what training looks like for them and how nuanced that is and how carefully balanced that is with your trainers and your nutritionists. So I mentioned the extreme because I want to reach out to those people who are feeling as if, oh, I'm past it. No, we are called Thrive with Age for a reason. And that is, it's never too late.
Thank you so much, Ashik, for that. So, a couple of questions actually, and the organizers can let us know if there are any questions from the audience too. But I wanted to go back to Fatima and Shabnam. So this is a question for both of you, and we'll start with Shabnam first, I guess. But if you both mentioned that you've tried different things in the past, and there were so many like options around there, for example, and if somebody came to you saying, "I've tried everything before," Shabnam, just like you said, a friend approached you, you said that too. What would you say to them, saying that you've tried all these things, but what comes after that but in that sentence?
I think what is successful about Ashiqali's program is you don't have to go beyond what you normally are eating. You can tweak your nutrition according to what you do on an everyday basis. Your family can benefit it. There's nothing that you cannot eat. When you understand the nutrition part, it's just like a daily lifestyle. And people might say, oh, but this is expensive, but if we look at all the junk food that we've been buying in the past, and if we just eliminate that and get to proper nutrition, your budget of food is not going to be any different than what it was before. We tend to forget all the little things of the junk that we buy, and that we put in our body. Now, if somebody tells me to put that junk, I will not touch it. Because I have understood this is this is what's causing harm in my body. It's making my body lethargic. It's not giving me any benefit. And with his program, if you have eaten your right amount of nutrition, you do not feel hungry. You are there, and you have so much energy that with even the exercise like Ashiqali mentioned, you can start off slowly. I've had 2 knee replacements done, and I have started my journey with basic chair yoga or walking little by little. And the way I increased my walking was if I went shopping to a grocery store, even though I didn't need anything from every aisle, I would walk all the aisles just to get my step counts up, and that builds up your stamina. And that's the little small steps that builds up the stamina. I have a dream. Ashikali, and he knows that my dream is to walk half a marathon. And inshallah, one day I will do it. And he knows I will do it.
Absolutely.
Because that's not going to stop me. Nothing's going to stop me now to achieving what I want to achieve.
Incredible. Thank you so much. We have a couple of minutes. Thank you. The chair has graced us with a few more minutes. But Fatma, I just wanted to ask you a question because something that Shabnam said made me kind of think that, in terms of flexibility of the program too, because some people may look at it and say, wow, okay, there's nutrition, there's discipline, there's exercise, all these different things. But the fact that we cater for so many different people. So Fatma, for you a question, you were talking about motion being the lotion and really getting that activity in. Did you find that the program was very inflexible or flexible, or how did you find the balance that worked for you specifically?
Program's flexible because you can do a lot of things in your own time. So for me, I've taken up gym membership hundreds of times, and I've I've got to get ready, I've got to go, I've got to park my car, I've got to do this, I've got to do that. So no, because Ashiq's got a whole library of programs. If you miss a live one, which I never used to miss. In fact, on a Sunday morning, I think I was the only one who turned up. That changed apart from this Sunday. But no, you just pick one and you just do it. So if I want to do it at midnight, I'll do it at midnight. I just make sure I do it on the day. And with regards to the program, I didn't get this program sold to me. It just happened to be on a WhatsApp group one evening. I'll never forget that day. I just like, well, what's this all about? And I had a call with Ashiq, and then I went, yeah, it's time to make some changes. And I joined the program. And yes, you have to invest. There is a financial element to it. But even there, he was very accommodating, with installments and things. But it's completely changed my lifestyle because a couple of months later, I was diagnosed with liver disease. Now, the fact that I had already started looking after myself has meant that I've been able to work with my doctors on my liver disease. It's not, I haven't joined the program because I've had to do it. It's because I wanted to do it. Yes, I'm not in the clear, but my word, so many things in my bloods have dropped. So there is just so much out there. I mean, I don't know if I've answered your question or not, but basically, just get up in the morning, do what you've got to do, 15 minutes aside. I mean, I watch less TV now, but I wasn't watching TV then. I was just sitting there thinking, oh, God, what am I going to do next? But now I do. I mean, people laugh at me. So if I haven't done any workouts, I will use my dishwasher as a workout thing, and I will pick up everything from the bottom drawer 100 times. There's 100 things in there, including spoons. I've done 100 squats. I've done my movement. I might not necessarily have put my watch on and logged it, but I've done 100 squats. When I'm in meetings and I don't have to have the camera on, I'm busy using those elastic bands and resistant bands and 2 kilo weights because they can't see me. I'm not wasting time. I'm getting my movement in. I make it work for me. I don't wait for, oh God, I've got to do this. And it works. You just got to do it around your mindset and your lifestyle and everything that you do in a normal day. This is just a little add-on. You don't have to take anything away. So overall, just do it.
Yeah.
And as I say to everybody, you've got to turn up for yourself. Then you can turn up for everybody else. If you don't put yourself as your own priority, you can't care for your parents. You can't do this. You can't do that. And it's better you do it for yourself before the doctors tell you have to do it. My doctors don't know what to say to me because they already say, well, you're doing it. Carry on.
Well, you know what you said about like, have you answered my question? I think every one of these examples has, right? Because if this program wasn't flexible around people's lifestyles, none of this would have been possible, right? You know, doing things in the dishwasher during meetings, and you talk about, you know, caring for elderly parents or whoever it might be. You know, I think that, and even like you said, you know, when it comes to installment plans or what have you, right? There's flexibility to cater for people, right? And I think that's the mission, Ashiqali, if I'm not mistaken, is to better other lives, right? Rather than, you know.
Absolutely. I don't think he's in it for the money. Yes, he needs the money because he's got bills to pay like everybody else, but he's definitely in it from a caring point of view. Like I said, I didn't have any hard sell. I had 1 minute, there was a WhatsApp message I just saw by accident. It's changed my life. I've only sold it on to one other person because I've been very private about this because I find I get complacent. And, you know, I haven't sold it, but the fact that she saw like we'd go out for dinner and I'd be like, I can't drop you home yet. I've got to go home first because I've got my challenge. I've got to do this first. And she saw that dedication, and her mindset's completely changed. And it is definitely about those things. I mean, I've even done the park runs, but I've walked them. I've had 4 major falls where I've fractured my ribs and everything, but I've still got up and I've still done it. And he's supported me and given me exercises that are good for me. So keep going. Anybody who's not on the program, you definitely want to think it. But I didn't get paid to say that. I'm telling you for my own self that, you know, it's changed my life. It's changed my life. And even though I don't need to be on the program forever, I've told him I'm not leaving. Because it's the accountability, just knowing that somebody's going to check in on you when you're having a bad day. I get told off about sleep all the time. So, yeah,
Now,
just do it.
on that note, sorry, just because of the time, Ashik, I'm going to leave you with one final question, right? So if you could leave everyone watching to this, listening to this, with one message about health and transformation that maybe Fatima and Shabnam have already spoken about, but what would that one message be? What would you impart to somebody listening to this?
Dig deep and know that there is more inside you to unleash your true potential. And so we need to stop trying to just survive and continue to thrive and make our dreams come true, no matter what age you are. And that goes to everyone.
100%.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Ashiqali, Shabnam, and Fatima, for sharing your insights and experiences. It's honestly, it's been fantastic. And I think what this has all shown is that Thrive really shows that transformation isn't about perfection either, right? We all have our ups and downs. It's about knowledge, direction, executing on that knowledge, and having that consistency and care to better yourself in every aspect, not just physically, not just mentally, not this, but in all these aspects holistically. So with that, thank you. Yes, go on.
I was just going to say, just add there. I was asked to write a blog for World Mental Health Day because of what I've been through the last 35 years. And the title of the blog for me was From Surviving to Thriving. And this is just the beginning. So that's to everybody out there. Stop surviving, start thriving. Make every day the first day of the rest of your life, every morning.
Thank you so much. And with that, we will hand back over to Chris.
Wow. Sometimes you just watch some of these panel sessions and you're like, more, more, more. Stop surviving, start thriving. If you make something a habit, the habit becomes you. Hydrate properly. What is inside you is more than what is outside of you. Thank you.
Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Thank you. Well, you're watching the Kenya International Sports Film Festival 2025, the 8th edition. And that has been a panel on thriving in age. So stop surviving, start thriving. And right now, start watching the good movies and remaining panel sessions we have for you here today on the Kenya International Sports Film Festival 8th edition. The fourth and final day, comes to you live from Alliance Française in Mombasa, Nyali, Nairobi, Kenya.